Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anand Sharma. I am the host for today's event from CXOTV.news, a Tech Plus Media Group brand. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you in today's webinar on getting the right security strategy in hybrid environment. As organizations continue on the path of digital transformation, the move to the cloud has become a given, and hybrid and multi-cloud environments have become the solutions of choice. Organizations are leveraging on hybrid cloud to amplify collaboration horizontally across their business units and functions, to eliminate data silos that obstruct data movement and sharing, and to make the numerous data repositories and systems talk to each other. But while this new hybrid and multi-cloud world offers the portability and flexibility that enterprises desire, it has also made security and application delivery across the distributed environment much more complicated. With the adoption of hybrid cloud and the rise in remote work, traditional connectivity models like VPN, MPLS are no longer meeting performance and security requirements. Distributed employees need reliable access to their apps, BYOD, yet disparate networking and security infrastructure makes it hard for IT to meet expectations. Well, to address these issues, we have invited Mr. Satish Tikhe, Solution Architect at Citrix Systems, to guide us to build enhanced visibility into application usage, endpoint management, and ensure that right user is accessing right information in the current work from home and hybrid cloud environment. Welcome on board, Satish. To start the discussion, do we have a strategy to manage multi-cloud infrastructure?
All right, absolutely, Anand. I mean, if you look at and if you look at the video as well, you will find out that the multi-cloud is now becoming the norm of the overall business, right? And if you look at what is really multi-cloud is, so we say that everything today is in cloud world. I mean, even your on-premise infrastructure is connected some or other way to the cloud. So if you are using any private cloud or public cloud or on-premise infrastructure together, it's a multi-cloud. And we distribute not only applications, data also across those cloud environment. But if you see closely in today's situation, when we talk about this pandemic or even before the pandemic as well, right? I mean, work from home or work from anywhere was becoming popular in many of the organizations. Specifically, those actually want to attract the younger generation, or you can say the latest and greatest of the technologies adoption. Then they look at work from home BYOD as a strategy. So not only data, not only application, but nowadays our users are also in the cloud. And when I say users are in the cloud, means they are operating from anywhere. Now the cloud is basically you have data, application anywhere. Now users are also anywhere. So all these three things, data, application, and users working from anywhere, and they can use any device of their choice to work on the applications and data. It actually poses quite a few challenges for any organization, and these are a few challenges, right? Data governance, for example, which users are accessing what type of data? Lack of choice, where should I put my data, where should I put my applications? There are too many vendors which are available in the market right now. Which one I should go for, or is there a particular vendor I should look at? Architecture lock-in, when I go for that particular vendor of cloud, am I getting locked into it? Am I not having that flexibility to move outside it? Or I may not have the flexibility to maybe using my on-premise? These are some certain questions. Lack of visibility is what is happening in the cloud. What is real? Is my data really accessed by the right user, or anybody else is getting access to it? User experience, how it will be, because when we talk about data and application in cloud, how the user experience will that be satisfying my user, will that able to work or not, and will that be an expensive solution also when I talk about cloud, because it's like maybe in over 3 years or 4 years or 5 years of TCO, whether it will become expensive or not. So these are the challenges when we talk about data, right? I mean, if you look at more or less, it is like choice, security, and user experience. That's what we are talking about when it comes to data. Same thing happens when it comes to applications. Now, if you look at your application portfolio as well, you will see that too many applications or quite a few applications are now becoming micro apps. Micro apps means they are distributed. The application itself is distributed. They talk to each other and create a one single application, and then user access that application. So processing of application, access of application, and data for that application is as well distributed. So typically Kubernetes application or maybe distributed application is typical example of it. So what about it? I mean, that's where we have a poll question, Anand.
Sure. So let me just launch the first poll. It says, do you have data and applications on separate cloud? Okay, and the answers are very obvious, which is yes, no, and not sure. And rest everybody's saying no. There's not a single person who says I'm not sure or I don't know. So that's what the distribution is.
All right. So of course, I mean, though 56% says that yes, they have separate data and application and they are on separate cloud. I'm sure that many of them who have still not said that we have it on the cloud, they are either in process of getting that thing, or they may be soon will be having that particular scenario where they will be having data and applications on separate cloud. And that actually create hybrid multi-cloud. Hybrid multi-cloud, so you have data, you have applications, you have users, and they are distributed across multiple clouds. And that actually poses certain challenges which we saw, right? Where we have problems with the application talking to each other, the user experience, the security around that data, who is accessing what, am I monitoring it clearly or not? All that security challenge, all those challenges are there. And for that, and resolving such challenge, I am sure that everyone is looking for something called as a platform. Platform means give me access or give my users access to every data and application which they require to have. Let me control who will have what access. Let me control which device will have access when they are falling in compliance category or in non-compliance category, and let them have access to all that applications and data based on the compliance of their endpoint as well. And that's where we call that as a endpoint analysis or endpoint scanning, right? So typical example, if I am using a corporate given laptop, then I should have access to maybe 10 applications. If I have given, I'm accessing it through by BYOD or my laptop, then it will have only certain application access. Though on top of that, we will be having security around the application saying that no, I mean, you cannot take data out of this application, you cannot copy paste, and in fact, you cannot take a print screen. Even, you know what, I mean, up to that level that even if you take a photograph of it, right, photograph if you're using a mobile camera or something like that, still it will show you a watermark saying that who allowed that photograph. So something like that, up to that level we can control it, and that is what is we called as platform or solving HMC problem, right? And that's what we offer as a platform to our customers. So it's a platform approach towards security and hybrid multi-cloud, where you can get or connect to any cloud on all type of data, all type of application, accessing it from all type of users or their devices. But we will make sure that right device have access to right data, right user have access to right data, wherever that data or wherever those applications are available, right? And we call it as a platform approach. So we come to another poll question right now. So let's see how it goes.
So do you prefer one single solution or multiple point solutions? 70% people have voted for single solution and 30% people have voted for multi-point solutions. And it's
Amazing.
a very informed team here. And nobody says that I don't know.
Amazing, and that's what is expected, Anand. I mean, to be frank, because if you look at the overall scenario and the IT and the pressure which IT actually carries along, one, they have to keep the lights on, of course. They have to keep everything running. Second, they must make sure that everything is up to the mark, up to the expectations of the user and business. And third thing is that they have to make sure that the IT is running along with the business, right? I mean, they are catering all that requirement of business to run at that scale, right? And that's why most of the people will definitely say that we would like to have a single point solution where we can go up to that solution. And then one vendor which will have all the problems sorted out for me. And that's what the platform approach when I talked about, right? The platform of Citrix gives you that particular benefit of having that integrated solution with you, which will integrate with the application, data, even backend application, and give you, and which I will cover in more details as we go on, and provide you a single consolidated solution to the user so that they really don't have to go away from that particular console or screen while they access data application. And when I say data and application, you have to assume that data and application is in hybrid multi-cloud. That's everywhere. Okay. So single solution which actually talks to multiple hypervisor, multiple cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, hyper converged, and they all talk together and provide a single view to the user of everything they need to work upon. Okay. And that's what Citrix Workspace platform does. I will explain about Workspace platform when I go, but just quickly, the platform itself is as a service. So it provides the fastest and rapidly deployment. It can quickly connect to all of your clouds, hybrid cloud, on-premise as well. It can be anywhere, so users can access it from anywhere. So there can be multiple POPs, so certain users accessing across the geographies can access their local POPs and all. So you can do that. Quickly changes if anything is required. So you want to maybe apply patches or apply policies and all, those can be quickly available for you. So even if you want to change certain applications and policy, you can do that also. It actually provides latest and greatest capabilities and innovation from the Citrix side of it. So what happens is that the cloud is maintained, managed by Citrix. So service is maintained and managed by Citrix. So whatever changes has to be applied, the patches has to be applied, security updates has to be applied. Those are taken care by Citrix themselves. And you can have quick POCs or anything, any changes, UAT, and all those things can be also managed from that. Okay. The same platform approach can give a centralized management console where users or the IT specifically can manage multiple, you can say suites or multiple components of the solution together in one single console. Okay. It can actually integrate with your SSO or identity management. So whenever the console is there, you can have a single console and have your administrator to have a single login to get into it and manage the thing. Okay, there is no vendor lock-in, as I said, right? I mean, you can connect to your multiple clouds, and that's what the platform brings to you. You can have multiple clouds connected to our platform, and you manage it from a single window. It can have multi-factor authentication. It can do policy-based, as I said. It can do your endpoint analysis, and all those things can also be part of it. The best part is it actually reduces the footprint of it. Footprint of your data center. So basically the amounts of server required, amount of appliances required in the data center, because it's a single solution. So you can actually leverage one device for multiple capabilities of it. So for example, if I have a load balancer, the WAF will also be part of it. My SSL offloader will also be part of it. So you actually have one single appliance, and then it plays multiple roles, which actually reduces the data center footprint also. Automated configuration is one, cloud-based configuration is another, right? That's how we talk about the single platform, and those are the benefits of single platform.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, that's interesting. And I was just thinking while you were saying, explaining this, that because of a single platform, the reporting would also be consolidated and very powerful, right? Because you'll get all consolidated reports from disparate systems which are connected and disparate clouds which is getting integrated. Is my thinking correct?
Absolutely, and I will be having a couple of slides on them at the maybe somewhere in middle of the session. Yeah.
Sure. Satish, one follow-up question. What is your idea of workspace? What should it provide to user?
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's a good question, and I will be talking about more of a workspace together. But before we really talk about workspace, right? What does usually user today require to work upon? Okay, I'm sure that nobody will challenge me on that. User need applications, user need data, and user needs some kind of access to the desktop whenever they're working on it, right? So application, data, and some kind of desktop where they can work, and that's what the workspace should be capable of. So to answer your question, Anand, the workspace should be capable of delivering the user or giving or providing the user what exactly they require to work upon. Now, workspace should provide something more on top of it. That is, they should provide you the secure environment for those users to work upon. Now, when I say secure environment, it's not only for the organization to get the secure access, but for the users also to make sure the devices that those users are using as secure as well. Because when we talk about my device, it's my BYOD device or corporate device, I don't want that device to get certain virus or malicious you can say code inside it from wherever I am trying to access. And today's world, you will see that the internet is becoming so free. There are so many sites and you can say so many sites and downloads facilities given. This can easily get into your device, so we need to make sure that a device is also secure. And that's what Citrix Workspace provides the user. So Citrix not only provide access to their application data, but it actually provides access to everything. Like it will provide you access to your web and SaaS app. It will provide you access to your files. And again, as I said, right, I mean, it's kind of a hybrid platform or open platform where you can integrate whichever way you want to have or whichever cloud you want to have. So on the right hand side, you will see that you have a data center, cloud, branch, web and SaaS app. And on the left hand side, you will see that you have devices, location, and people. So any user, any device, any location, they can access all these services. It can be application, data, and again, when I say that application and data, it's spread across multiple locations. And we have and that is actually possible through something called a Citrix Workspace platform, which consists of virtual apps and desktop, web and SaaS application, endpoint management, micro apps, content collaboration, which gets delivered through our app and delivery platform, which is also again integrated platform through our ADC, web app firewall, gateways, and orchestration analytics. Orchestration and analytics is that what Anand, you were talking, that how do I really monitor or get the reports out of it? That's what it is. So when we say that we are accessing it, I mean, users have access to all their apps and desktop content and from any devices. So all this is tied together to create a zero trust network framework. Now I'm little bit explaining you Workspace and zero trust network. Now Workspace is apps, data, and desktop access. At the same time, we tie them together to make sure that nothing is compromised here. Not apps, not data, not desktops, not endpoint devices also, but still user can access their applications and data on top of it. Yeah, so Anand, we're at the next poll again.
Do you think multiple login hampers user productivity and experience? And post that, I would like to take a question from Ramesh Kumar, so that we don't lose the thread which is asking. So Ramesh, I'll unmute you, so you just be ready for the question. But before that, let's close the poll. 90% people say yes, and 10% people say no. And as usual, nobody says not sure.
Good. Okay. So you want to take that question and then move forward, or how does it?
Yeah, let's take that question, because otherwise we might lose the thread.
Yeah, hi. My name is Ramesh. I head Technology Management Group in ICICI Bank. Yeah, and we use quite a number of products from Citrix. So that way, Citrix is not new to me. But I think, yeah, because somewhere I saw your poll number 1, where I could see many 56% people say that application and data on 2 different clouds. While on paper it looks to be great, from a security aspect, I think that's what ideally wanted. But I think that brings in terms of, I don't know, how do you handle latency, egress cost, in terms of management of multi-cloud, all these operational issues will crop in. So any idea, any suggestions, how does it happen at? Yeah, from a security, definitely it's a great, but all the other points are negative.
Absolutely. And Ramesh, thanks a lot for asking that question. By the way,
thank you, Ramesh.
In next couple of slides, yeah, in the next couple of slides, I will be covering that when we talk about security, and basically not only security but latency for the user. And in fact, when I post that second slide, which was clearly mentioning that user experience was one of the issues. So Ramesh, give me 1 second, maybe couple of slides, and you will find your answer there itself. About how do we really manage such kind of scenario where you have application distributed across multiple cloud as well as data distributed across multiple cloud, and how we give access to it. And of course, thanks a lot for using Citrix, and we will see that how can we make sure that you get access to all your applications and data, right? All right. So Anand, how is that? I mean, 90% of the people are saying that the user experience gets hampered due to multiple login, right?
Yes. Yes.
Of course. And if you see today's world as well, you will find that many applications, not I'm talking about official application, but many applications which we use on mobile or laptops, which are not official application but personal application like Facebook or Google or any other, those are making sure that they are not asking passwords multiple times, right? Then why should our application in same corporate or organization ask user passwords multiple times? Because they are, maybe they have their own databases of passwords and applications and everything, but ultimately the organization converge into one single Active Directory where they use that Active Directory as a single mechanism to do that. And that's what Citrix also brings you. So once you log in to Citrix workspace, okay, and you on the screen you will see how the workspace look like, and we will go into the more details of it as well, and then we will address Ramesh's question as well. If you look into that, you will find that there are web application and there are SaaS applications. And once you log in to Citrix Workspace, you are automatically single sign on into all those applications. Okay, and that is the power Citrix Workspace bring it to you. So you will be signing on. So user don't have to go to multiple application and sign in with credentials to those. Single sign on is already there. Now you will find one more point, that you can access those applications which are intranet applications, web applications which are internal. SaaS application can be on the SaaS provider or anywhere. Those can also be accessed through VPN-less client or VPN-less. So you don't have to connect, or user don't have to connect to VPN, but we will provide all the securities on top of it. So SSO experience, then you have singles, then you can have unified experience to all the application. It's a VPN-less access, and you can implement MFA also, that is multi-factor authentication, so that right user is accessing right information. Even the password is compromised, maybe second factor may not get compromised, right? And that's what Citrix Workspace provides. Then if you remember, I spoke at the start itself, then what if user take photograph of it? How do I really have a data protection policies? And that's what we provide, something called as a watermarking. So even if you take a photograph, the photograph will contain watermark, and and user also know that it is actually part of the screen. So user is also you can say little skeptical whether I should take a photograph or not. Apart from that, we offer something called as a copy paste policy, where user will not able to copy paste any text from it and put it on their endpoint devices. So now look at it, like you cannot put the data or you cannot take the data out of it. So that's why you will not able to put malicious traffic, or you will not get malicious traffic out of it as well, even if there is something called that. We put something called as the data protection policies for web and SaaS applications, so that up to that level, that even if your endpoint is running with some or other kind of keylogger, it will not, your passwords and it will not be captured. So because when you start entering your password into Citrix Workspace, garbled or it will get encrypted. That's what we can do. Okay, then we provide something called as a contextual access, where only those devices which are complied to the policies defined by IT will get access to the application. Secure browser, even if you want to access certain sites which you are not sure of, those sites can be opened into an isolated browser, so user device as well as the data center is protected. And that's what Citrix Workspace offers. Now we will look into it how closely, that how the workspace look like for the user. And as I said in the start of it, right, I mean, what user require to access? They require access to application, data, and desktop. And that's what we definitely provide. So on the left hand side, you will find something called as app, data, and files. So you get access to all three on your endpoint device, and we don't generally discriminate endpoint here. The endpoint can be laptop, it can be thin client, it can be Windows, it can be Linux, it can be iOS, it can be Android, or for that matter Raspberry Pi, and we provide access or unified access to the user. Yes, because of the form factor, the display might change, but experience remains the same. It becomes in fact touch enabled when it comes to touch enabled devices. So on the laptop it might not be touch enabled application, but on the mobile device the same application which is not touch enabled becomes touch enabled. Okay. If you look, yeah,
Please go ahead.
Yeah, if you look closely, not only we provide now applications, data, and desktop access, but we provide something called as a backend integration to your apps as well. So if you remember, I said that user don't have to go away from his workspace when they want to work. So they can get access to their desktop application files, but they now get access to something called as a micro apps, which are like your day-to-day or frequently used tabs in the application. Very simple language. If I want to apply for a leave, I have to log into that application, go to the applet of leave application, select from and to date, put the content, put the reason, and then say apply. What essentially I'm doing here is I'm just applying for the leave form and to date and apply. That's it. At the other side of it, my manager receives it and he just have to approve it. Now that's what we thought. Instead of having that whole workflow, can we give not those two buttons inside the workspace, apply for the leave and approve or reject the leave? That's what the integration with the application is. So now you have your apps, data, desktop, all available inside the workspace. At the same time, you have all those frequently used application and tabs within those application available as a part of workspace. So you don't have to really go anywhere now. That's what Citrix Workspace brings it to you. And as I said, those are security policies on the top of it. Copy paste, DLP, cannot put the data, cannot take the data, and all those policies are applied on top of it. Right? So simply you will actually get access to search bar where you can search your apps, application, data, application files, or you can say just files or desktop. You can search for your GAL, that is your Active Directory, and people from there as well. You get feeds from the application. So leave application was one of the example, but you will get access to your runtime application graphs, and you can say notifications also as a part of the workspace. You get, of course, application notification, task, insights. So again, typical example, you generally send a report or you get a report by end of the evening or end day end, which is actually throughout the day, or you get it in the morning generally, which is yesterday. But here you get a real-time report as a part of your workspace if the applications are integrated. And of course, your applications data is part of it. So it's a complete workspace where user does not have to go anywhere from it. Okay. So instead of user going to the application, applications are now part of your workspace, and that's what we called it as a guiding of the work. So for example, if I apply for the leave and my manager some or other way forgets to approve my leave, the approve button will still be pending in his workspace unless he approve or reject it, right? So that's why I am guiding, or the workspace is guiding user what to do next, right? And that is why we called it as a guiding and automating the work. Okay. Now on top of it, we provide, and as I explained, right, we provide something called as anti-key logging and anti-screen capture policies, where if you start talking or start typing your password when you want to log on to Citrix Workspace, the key logging or keyboard strokes are encrypted for Citrix Workspace. Even there is a keylogger running, you will not see the keystrokes or which characters are typed. So we restrict clipboard access, restrict printing if you enable so, restrict navigation so user cannot go back and forth, restrict downloads, this and put the watermark, restrict key logging, and screen capture restrictions also can be put forward on top of it. So that is all about the workspace. So in a workspace, you get everything what user need to work upon, but with all the security postures around it, as well as protecting the endpoint and making sure that right endpoint is having access to the right application, right? So that's how it is. Sorry.
Cool. So how should we make sure that the right user is accessing the right information in current scenario of work from home and hybrid infra?
That's right, Anand. I mean, that's becoming one of the challenge, because when we move around, and one of the challenge which are posed by HMC, that is hybrid multi-cloud, where applications and data is everywhere, but who will access the right information and who will have, you can say, how they will access it, right? And you will see this happening industry-wide today, that zero trust. Okay, everybody is talking about zero trust. What exactly zero trust is, right? I mean, zero trust itself says that zero trust means trust nothing. You don't trust your user. You don't trust your user means, I mean, to say the logging in user credentials or logging in the username. I'm not talking about the employee. I'm talking about the username. Don't trust that username, because username can be, or the password of that user. It can be compromised as well. So don't trust those. You don't trust your device. You in fact don't trust your network also sometimes, because you don't have, you might have a compromised network or there is some malicious code running. You don't trust application anyway, because it's outside the perimeters and somebody else is managing. Because when it comes to SaaS application, when it comes to your own application, though you have firewalls and everything, still you have some or other kind of maybe you can say challenges out there. So what we do in zero trust is don't trust anyone, but make sure that right user has got access at right time and just enough access to them. So in zero trust environment or paradigm, what we have, no trust, limited time bound trust. Satish will have access only for this time. Once he authenticate, will have access to this time. He will be multi-factor authentication. His device will not be trusted unless he pass on this test. So compliance test will be there. He will have access to only these applications when he's accessing from this device. He will access to this application when he's accessing that device. So all that thing. Just in time access, just enough access. What is required to do there today? Role based access, user and device context, as I said, which device where is accessing from, end to end encryption. This is very important. When I start my session from my endpoint device, it can be BYOD, it can be corporate, but there has to be end to end encryption up to the application, and the channel is completely encrypted, passwordless, because password can be compromised. So once you have SSO, once you have logged in with your multi-factor authentication, should not be putting more and more password. And of course, end user experience is one of the paramount here, because I mean, other than the user experience, everything becomes a little, you can say, unworthy to do that. And what's out? Implicit trust. Now that is very important. Implicit trust, and you can typically correlate implicit trust to something called as your VPN, if you remember. Once a user logs into VPN with his credentials, he pretty much get access to the whole network. That's what happens when implicit trust is, because you don't, so only one password and you have access to everything. That's where the problem is, and that's why we should get rid of passwords. Instead, we can put this multiple scenarios together. You can say soft tokens, OTPs, UB keys, and all those things are there. Make sure that perimeter based access is there. Rigid access system has to be go out. There is no rigid, I mean, rigidness should not be there. What I mean is by that is, when I give access to something, okay, the user should able to have that flexibility that I want to have access to that, this, and everything as well. So for example, in hybrid multi-cloud, I want to have access to my whole application, not only certain part of the application. Get out your VPNs, because those are now becoming older technology, and I have a slide around it as well. And not IT focused solution, but the user focused solution or business focused solution. Typically, as I explained about the VPNs, right? I mean, many organizations in today's scenario relies on VPN as well. Though the technology was good for certain years or few years back, but it does not now provide all that functionality which is required. One is an appliance based, so it actually increase your data center footprint. It actually provides access to everything. Most of the time it requires an external facing IP so that the user can log into it, and it actually put certain restrictions on the user's productivity also. You know, VPN was generally or typically was created for admin purpose, not for user usage. Okay, and that's what about the user experiences and things are coming out. But main problem which actually VPN poses is that it provides access to the whole network when the user logs in with it, right? And that's what we come to the poll number 4.
Do you think that even after securing users' devices with AD policies, those devices can get affected by threat over internet? Sujit, I have unmuted you, and you can ask your question now.
So my name is Sujit. I work with a company called Deluxe Entertainment. We are based out of Pune, and we work in a media entertainment domain. My question is on the licensing side. How is the workspace licensing? Is it the per user license? Is it the concurrent session licenses? How does that work now?
All right, very nice. So, Anand, should I answer the question or should we answer as we go ahead? Or maybe let me answer that before you gather the information. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, there are multiple types of licensing, Sujit. So based on the use case, what do you want out of workspace? Now, workspace can be a single user-based license where you get access to your apps, data, files, and that all the application, backend applications, and their the scenario which I explained. That can be a single license, or you get just application, just files, just data. That is also possible, and then you can integrate wherever you are up to that level where you want to integrate everything. So it depends on the use case, but we have very flexible licensing. Again, when we go into those smaller pockets of it, then you can have user-based or concurrency-based licenses as well. But that depends on the use case, to be frank, and how do you want to use. For example, if I have a BPO, I will go for a concurrency based license because I can have multiple users logging onto the same virtual machine or virtual application. If I have a normal user scenario, then user device makes a lot of sense because then I can have multiple devices accessing the same application, right? Hope that answers your question.
Great. Thank you, Satish. Thank you very much.
And now 21% people are saying maybe. Somebody just
Oh,
quoted at this moment.
absolutely. So if you look at today's scenario, right, Active Directory, or you can say domain joined machines, are now becoming maybe you can say little scar, because you will find that in today's scenario the BYOD, work from anywhere, and using your own device becomes more and more popular for organization. I know few organizations to start off this pandemic, actually they moved the physical desktop from offices to home just to use it to work, and I absolutely agree with their actions because that is the only option they had at that point of time. You cannot have business suffering from it, right? I mean, that's why you have to move it. But now as we progressed and as we understood that it's possible that this particular scenario is prevailing for longer, and this is not only a problem, but this is actually providing a good kind of environment for the user. So you will see that later on, lot of companies started saying that work from home is normal for everybody. BYOD is becoming normal now, right? Going to office may not be normal now. So it will be like, I may go 3 days to office and 2 days I can work from home. So that's becoming normal. And then your Active Directory domain joined machine really does not matter. What matters is that what user has access to and how they are accessing has to be secure. And that's what we bring something called as VPN-less access to your intranet web applications. Okay, and we call it as a secure workspace access. Workspace means the workspace what we just talked about, but inside that we can have intranet access also. And Sujit, just for you, you can buy this as a separate scenario based requirement. You can later on integrate it with larger workspace requirement of you as well. So you can have just intranet access or just internet access. So secure web access, so users working from anywhere without connecting to VPN, okay, they will connect to your intranet applications. So just open a workspace, they will have their intranet web applications there. They click on it, they get connected to the application, and they work. Nothing. And then all those security policies are on top of it. They cannot copy paste, they cannot take data out, you can have a watermark, all those are there. So think about it. I mean, there is, user don't have to do anything right now. Even he's working from his BYOD or corporate laptop, doesn't matter. He can get the same laptop to office, connect to the network, and he can access to web application with same security. So VPN-less access, he doesn't have to connect. Go beyond SSO and MFA, granular security controls to ensure that data governance and protection from malicious code. You cannot take data or put data inside it. And consolidate vendor, so you have multiple applications and everything can be consolidated, right? That is what brings something called as a secure intranet access or web application. Again, then you can definitely integrate with your SAML or identity, and we will cover analytics or reporting as a part of the secondary. On top of it, you can have all that policies and protection which I mentioned, like your keylogger, screen capture, malicious traffic content, security policies, browser isolations, all are part of it as well. So now if you look at the whole question which says that AD policies can secure or not, blah blah blah, but still we really don't care nowadays. If we can secure your application and network and data, it doesn't matter which device user is using, as far as it's complied, if you want to put that as well, right? And that's what we talk about you can say secure internet access. Same time we can have a single sign-on for those applications also for SaaS application now. So now if you look, for example, today you access SaaS application, maybe Salesforce or your Workday or any other application, right? The application access is available from his home laptop as well as the corporate laptop. Now it becomes a little difficult and tricky to manage. What if he access the same application from his personal laptop? Will he able to copy paste data and all that? He can. But we can deliver those applications as a part of the workspace and deny access from everywhere else. Then you can secure those applications also. So now you have your internal web applications and your SaaS application part of the same console to the user with all the security on top of it. Okay, and that's what Citrix Workspace brings it to you. These are just web and SaaS applications. We have not, I mean, the virtual applications and everything is still. So you have only SaaS and web application as a part of the workspace. Yes, Anand, you're saying something?
That's great. That's great. So, I've been thinking that we have so far protected users and data, but what about apps, which are on cloud? How can I protect those from malicious intents?
Yeah. And that is correct way. I mean, that's the right question, and everybody definitely may be talking about or thinking about that question. I'm okay. I mean, my now users are protected, my application and data is protected. But what about the application running into that hybrid multi-cloud, where
Yeah.
those applications are running? How do I really protect? And in fact, you know what? That's what actually is a concern of 92% or the most of the folks that say 92% of the vulnerabilities lies within application. I mean, you can have a secure application, but there will be still some or other thing, and you can see that throughout the industry, even the security compliant organizations are getting affected, right? So data breaches generally becomes very expensive for all these applications. So if you are running something like manufacturing industry or a pharmaceutical, then such things are very, very expensive for you or your business for that matter. And you can see that the applications which are fragmented across all these clouds and everything, right? We want to put them into with all the security on top of those applications also. So when applications are getting accessed, we want those all policies and everything should be in a uniform to those applications. But again, that challenge comes because those applications are now spread across multiple locations. Those are managed by multiple cloud vendors, and that's where it is. And that's why we bring something called as web app and API protection service. Again, this is a service. Okay, means you don't have to manage or you don't have to maintain the infrastructure required for it. Okay, and that's what we have something called as ADM on-prem app security in multi-cloud on-prem, security Citrix ADM as a service, app security multi-cloud on-prem, or web app protection, API protection as a service. So all three things can be combined. More importantly, I want to show you that how we really today take it as a thing. So you have applications on the right hand side, so those are running in multiple clouds, and you have users, hackers, and remote employees, right? What we generally do in today's scenario is that we put individual firewalls on those applications, and maintaining those individual firewall, how cohesive those can be, how taxing for IT to maintain all those, whether I have applied the backup, their disaster recovery, BCP, and all those comes on that, and you know how difficult it becomes for you to manage it. And that's why we bring something called as a service to you, where users will not access the application directly. Instead, they will access first Citrix service, and Citrix service will scrub it, and then the access will be allowed to those particular application. Here, you have uniform policies applied into the web app and API protection service. So Citrix will take care of the infrastructure required. Just you have to point your site IP or the DNS to our service. So all users will come to our service. Our service will make sure that the information is right and everything is right, and then it goes to your application. And that's why we call it as a one of the API protection, where even if your application has got some or other vulnerabilities, those will not be passed on to those, right? So of course you can look into it. So, and it is not my slide, but Gartner has told that this is how will happen. So by 2024, 20% of the public facing web API will be protected by cloud WAP service. Okay, it is less than 5% today. So this is the future, folks. I mean, you will see that it will be soon increasing. Today, you may not see that I'm maintaining my firewalls individually, I'm happy with it. No, it might not be scenario tomorrow. If we want to be in that race, if we want to be in that league, then we need to make sure that we are providing it as a service to the user, not or to the application, but not as a or becoming bottleneck for those particular applications. So that is what it was about the API protection and application protection. Now, what we done so far is we actually delivered application data files to the user from everywhere, right? But what about monitoring of it? How do I really make sure that who is accessing what? I know about it. How I make sure that if there is a problem with my infrastructure, how I am going to tackle those? And that's what Citrix brings, analytics. Analytics basically puts on top of the workspace. So you can see that analytics is keep on monitoring everything which is happening within workspace. So workspace, again, when I say workspace, can be anything, web, SaaS application files coming from everywhere, right? And then we put analytics into 3 types of bucket: security analytics, performance analytics, and productivity analytics, which spans across apps, users, and networks. So we make sure that everything is getting monitored. So virtual apps, endpoint management, networking component, everything gets monitored. And we provide an AI ML based, you can say, logging or analytics to user. Now, to give you a simple example, Satish used to log in from India and he used to access certain application throughout the day. This is normal scenario, his normal behavior, right? Tomorrow or one fine day, Satish is logging on from somewhere else, which is he's not supposed to be there, or he never been there, or it's a banned, you can say, location or something like that, and he's trying to access today from there, and he's accessing too many applications today. He used to access maybe 8, now he's accessing maybe 20, 30 application, and he's accessing it sporadically. I mean, there is something wrong with it. He's downloading the data as well. He's not only accessing application but trying to download the application. He has given certain password maybe wrong few times, right? Now in this situation, you can have an automated action on saying that Satish can be blocked, his application can be blocked, he will not be allowed, or he will be passed to a different, you can say, something like honeypot or something, right? So we sense, we analyze, and we respond. Respond means we will take automated actions as well. So you can say that stop access, or you can put granular access. Not all applications, but only 2 applications will be accessible, like reset your password, something like that, right? And that's what analytics brings to you. So track access, device, and things, gather apps and data, tap into network traffic, build end-to-end user behavior context. What user used to do throughout the day, is there an anomaly of his behavior? That's what we bring into user behavior. Security, user behavior security analytics, where we will see that is he accessing unwanted or applications which he is not supposed to access. He's accessing any applications which he's not supposed to access from where he's accessing today. He's trying to copy paste or download any data, so you can do that also. And this is how it is presented to the monitoring screen. So Anand, if you remember the question, this is how we present it to the IT, where they can see that user risk profile of application data and users as well, right? We provide performance analytics also. Now performance analytics can be up to this mark, that how the user's network is performing, how data center network is performing, how intermediate network is performing, how my application is performing. That way, how user is seeing the performance of application. So it is not application performance, but perceived application performance, that the users who is seeing that application performance. That's what the analytics will. And when I say analytics, this will be overall, it will be on top of everything, not only application data, but on the network, on the user devices, user network as well, right? So to wrap it up, guys, Citrix platform provides you a single unified platform where you can consolidate all your applications, cloud infrastructure, and data. Data means the files can be coming from your OneDrive, Google Drive, on-premise network, everywhere, and it will be presented to the user in one single console, so that they can have their access to those applications and they can be productive. It is a VPN-less access, single sign-on access. We provide web filtering and browser isolation for your internet traffic. We provide intranet application access with zero trust framework on top of it. So that is what I had to say today. So Anand, we can take certain questions if there are.
Sure. So in case, guys, you have any questions, we are already on top of the hour, but we can take 1 or 2 questions. Meanwhile, I have a quick question for you, Satish. Can you give us a comparison between VPN or MPLS and your SIA or SASE solution?
Right. So first we'll talk about VPN and maybe MPLS. So VPN is generally tunneling or creating an encrypted tunnel throughout the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And MPLS is a point-to-point. So when you have access to VPN or MPLS, you pretty much have access to all the application or the whole network behind that particular network. Secondly, VPN technologies are tending to be older. They require the IP addresses and they require management, maintenance, and all those things. MPL is, of course, little bit of expensive when it comes to monitoring. But when it comes to SIA and internet, SIA or SWA, that is secure internet access and secure intranet access, it plays or provide the same kind of experience, same kind of benefits of what VPN used to have, that is accessing internal network and accessing internet sites as well, but without having those drawbacks of VPN and MPLS. So here you can have SSO and selectively choose which application access to be provided. Other than VPN and MPLS, where you get access to the whole network, here you can choose what user should have access to. And of course, it is much more cheaper than MPLS line. You cannot have MPLS for each and every user working from home nowadays. But you can have secure intranet access. They can have VPN-less access into intranet applications without having all those limitations of VPN. Yes, Anand.
Sure. No, I'm done. We are already on top of the hour. So unless anybody has any questions, I think we can call it a day.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So my sincere gratitude to you, Satish, for sharing these valuable insights with us. And thanks to Citrix team, we have been running this series to bring the technology community together under our forum Tech Thursdays. You can watch the past events on demand under brand gallery section on our website, cxotv.news. I thank each one of you for joining the session, despite all the commitments or challenges. Well, the show must go on, and I promise next session is going to be equally interesting, so stay tuned. I wish you all a happy week ahead. Please take care of yourself, stay safe, and wish you good luck.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.